Hi everybody, my name is Lara and this is my walkaway video. That's right, good riddance to leftist ideals, the Democratic Party, and just the overall regressive left. Alright, I guess I'll start with some background. I grew up in the deep blue, so I learned very quickly that I was not allowed to question anything that was presented to me as empirical fact by the left. Um, Otherwise, I would be met with copious amounts of backlash, hate, anger. I mean, as a freshman in high school, I was getting death threats. Oh man. So then I quickly learned to censor that part of myself. I also learned to dismiss that part of myself. Just because when I was met with so much backlash and I had no one even behind closed doors saying, "Hey, I agree with you," or anyone standing up for me, I just kind of internalized what they were saying and assumed I was bad, I was wrong, I was flawed, and just things like that. And so I just learned to dismiss that part of myself and was sort of somewhat coerced into becoming a liberal. And then I was also an atheist. And I think it's really important to talk about the spiritual component of political awakenings, just because from I experienced a political awakening in conjunction with my spiritual awakening, and I think that that's the case for a lot of people, like Michael Knowles, Dave Rubin, Brandon Tatum, and Jordan Peterson. Like they all had political awakenings in conjunction with their spiritual awakenings. So I think it's an important component to talk about. A lot of people talk about identity politics in their walkaway videos, so I want to cover the spirituality aspect. Um, so anyway, yeah, I was an atheist as well. I was a miserable liberal atheist. I was never a leftist, but I was definitely liberal. I voted Democrat, subscribed to all the perpetual victim narratives, like, oh, I'm a perpetual victim because I'm a woman, or because my mom's from the Middle East, an immigrant, blah, 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 but I'm passing white, so, like, whatever. Regardless, I'm not trying to play the oppression Olympics, because that's the worst game you can play. um, and so anyway, just it just it never resonated with me. And I think that's part of what made me atheist, is I think I was living a lie, living something so inauthentic to myself. Even not just liberal economic values or political values, but also like liberal cultural values. Like, I don't know, hookup culture and ultra feminism, and men are toxic, masculine, whatever. Men should be women basically, and women should be men basically. I don't, it was just, oh my gosh. Or like y'all open relating, or live a miserable angry lifestyle and just go drink on the weekend, drink your sorrows away on the weekends. I don't know, it's just not for me. If that's what you desire, that is your prerogative, and absolutely no judgment here. It is not for me. And so yeah, I just was living a miserable life as a liberal atheist, and I had endorsed all these leftist norms and whatever. And yeah, so finally I had, just fast forward to a couple months ago, I had a spiritual awakening. Mind you, it was not fun because I did take pride in being an atheist. I thought I was so woke. I thought I was so holier than thou. It was awesome. I thought I was so much smarter than these people for thousands of years. What was I thinking? How self-righteous can you be? Um, and yeah, so I had a spiritual awakening. It was not easy at all to admit that maybe, maybe the thing, what made me feel holier than thou wasn't true. And yeah, so then that's also how so atheism is a really dangerous precedent to set, because this is not true in all cases. I'm not going to generalize, but in a vast majority, atheists don't believe in anything higher than themselves, right? And what's problematic with that is the fact that that creates a narcissistic and hedonistic mindset, right? And so what that does is it destroys the collective. Fastest surefire way to destroy the collective is to have hedonistic and narcissistic mindset within the individuals. And it's also horrible for the individual. And then also, because human beings are wired for religiosity, for worship, for ritualism, they're going to end up worshiping something else. And what that tends to become is government. What is government? Government is an entity that's been established by human beings and created by human beings, is entirely run by human beings, and is entirely comprised of human beings. Like, so you're basically worshiping a bunch of human beings at the most basic level. And you don't have to look it's not a Judeo-Christian thing. Like, look no further than Western and Eastern religious doctrine, and you'll see it's problematic to worship something or someone, anything in this 3D realm, because it's inherently, if you know, if you want to look at Western doctrine, it's inherently sinful, or if you want to look at Eastern doctrine, it's inherently yin and yang, good and bad, good and evil, like, you know. So it's really dangerous. And so basically then what people do is they make government both their savior and their scapegoat. So all of their successes, their failures, all of the injustices of the world, all of these things are attributed to government. And that is so dangerous, because like, I really believe the best, the optimal functioning government is the government which protects our life, liberty, property, and ensures equality of opportunity. Those 4 things. That's it. That's all government's got to do, or should do. So yeah, I mean, like, for example, you know how Ben Shapiro says, my facts don't care about your feelings. That's actually accurate, but I think it's a little callous. So I don't know if y'all subscribe to zodiac signs, but I'm a Cancer, and yes, I'm very emotional. Okay, but when it comes to my political views, I'm not emotional at all. Politics and government are not a place for my or anyone's emotions. That's should be left to the communal level or the familial level. That's not for the government to deal with. And yeah, so in that sense, yeah, when we're talking politics, my facts don't care about your feelings, and that's why people are just going to the wrong source to get their feeling needs met. You know, that should be like communal. Anyway. Yeah, and also, so my spiritual awakening led to me taking some agency in my life, to not being like the perpetual victim. Like, the only one who can better my reality is myself. If I wait for government to come and intervene and do it, I'm going to be living in a world of hurt. And, you know, the human condition is suffering, but I'm going to be suffering a lot more than I have to if I'm waiting for government to come and be my savior. It's not going to happen. Or anyone, for that matter. And that's not to say people are going to stop victimizing you as soon as you stop being a victim, but it's, you know, people will still victimize you, but are you going to be the victim or a victor? You know, that's your choice. It's your prerogative. I suggest you do the latter. But yeah, no, I just found a lot more happiness in my life, and also like, just, I know intuitively that we're just all soul vessels for souls. Like, we're all equal, and so equal in value, like men, women, black, white, Asian, whatever. I mean, truly, we are all just souls having this human experience, and we need to unify. I mean, the only way we can progress as a race, and when I say race, I mean human race, it's unification that's responsible for that, not this divisiveness or divisiveness, as people say it differently, whatever. Anyway, yeah. And so I just find it shocking that people are just blindly accepting this identity politics thing and allowing it to divide us. And it's honestly, I'm terrified for the future, basically. But anyway, I guess this was really more last thing I wanted to say. Something that Hannity said. So this was more focusing on the spiritual component of political awakenings. And my political awakening specifically. But the thing I want to conclude with is not so much spiritual, it's something Hannity said, and I thought it was so great, and I thought it was perfect. He said, America is, and this is not a quote because otherwise I'd be butchering it, but America is not exceptional because our system is perfect in the status quo. America is exceptional because our founding fathers established a system which allowed for progress and growth, and change. And that is so true. That couldn't be more true, that the system that we have is unique and is superior, not because of what it is, but because we've built it so that it has infinite potential. And that is not the case for any other system in the world. Okay, so yeah, I guess I'll conclude with that, and thank you for listening to my walk away. There are tons of other reasons why I walked away from the left, but I feel like this is one that maybe this reason is less covered by other videos, and I don't want to, be too repetitive.